Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I hope you all are doing well and good. And subhanallah, a wonderful and beautiful evening. Right now, we all are joining in, and great to see you all. I'm very happy that those who are interested are right here. And before I start the session and we take the session forward, I would really appreciate if everyone can write in the chat box that where you are joining from, which city are you joining from? Can you write in the chat box? The chat box are open, and that's the wonderful point that the chat box will be kept open in the entire session, inshallah. So whatever queries you have, whatever doubts you have, inshallah, that will be answered throughout the session as well as inshallah after the session as well. So as our friends join in and those who are interested joins in, Allah Mubarak, most welcome to all those who are in the session at the moment. And inshallah, as I have mentioned in the group, that inshallah the recording of the session will also be shared. So I believe that will be extremely helpful for everyone who unfortunately, due to some reason, couldn't attend, so that they can also find the session beneficial, right? So, mashallah, we have people who are writing in the chat box where they are joining from. So, requesting everyone again, from wherever you are joining in, please do mention which city are you from, so that we can take the session forward. And also do mention, are you a student yourself? Are you a parent? Or are you a teacher? Are you associated with any organization? So do mention about that as well. I mean, that's extremely important for everyone. For me at least, to have an understanding who you are, for what purpose are you joining this meeting. So I see, mashallah, we have people joining. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. So today's session especially I decided to keep for those youngsters who are going through a very critical and sensitive phase of their life. Because Alhamdulillah, from past many years, I have been part of organizing community and career guidance for youngsters. And for me, entirely that experiences were highly beneficial, not only in terms of understanding what's going on in the market and in the industry and in multiple domains, but also at the same time meeting people from different backgrounds and understanding what's going on in the market and how dynamic the changes are in the industry at the moment. And I'm sure many of you are, mashallah, quite very well researched and quite very updated with what's going on in the market, what's going on with different career paths. But I thought maybe organizing this meeting could really give a fresh alignment to whatever you are thinking, or maybe to reassure what you're thinking is the right thing. So inshallah, in today's session, I'll divide the session into multiple segments. The first segment would be especially for the youngsters, because as I said, this session would be recorded, inshallah, and would be uploaded on my YouTube. So first thing first, I'll be focusing on what exactly the thought patterns are there in the mind of a youngster who is currently in their 10th or 12th standard and currently finding what they should do and which career path they should pursue, and how they can identify that which career path is made for them, and how they can enroll themselves in courses or explore the courses where they are interested. So that would be the first segment of the conversation. The second would be something that how dynamic the field has been, as you might have seen in the flyer what I have shared before, that in the prior days, like in the early era in 2000, there was a completely different industry that was at the boom. Right now the situations are changing, the markets are changing, the industries are booming, and new industries are emerging. The past industries are going, either they are completely getting exhaust from the market, or maybe they are looking for an innovation, or maybe they are looking for a modification, or maybe some kind of revamping and revivals. So those are different kind of industries going on. And then I'll be sharing about what are the booming industries at this hour, like what industry people should focus upon. But at the same time, this guidance is, I won't say that it would fit for everyone. And the reason to say that is because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has created everyone with different abilities, with different skill sets, with different skills and I would say capacities. So to recommend someone who is interested into a mathematical field or is very much into coding or very much into physics, and then recommending them to go into an entirely different field, that would be an injustice. So that is something what needs to be kept in mind. So I'll be discussing few things on those domains, and inshallah in the ending also, I would recommend few analysis what a person can do for themselves. See, there are two types of analysis. In the mid of the session, I'll be sharing about that. One of the analysis is something that you personally do of yourself, and there are multiple ways to do that. Uh, Most of the time, it's usually seeing the marks of the person that in which subject he or she has scored the highest marks, and maybe they are interested into that field. That is one of the way, which is a traditional way that's been a part from a long time. But there are multiple other ways as well. Like there are multiple websites, there are multiple specific research that has been done. So taking a questionnaire on multiple websites and identifying what suits best for you depending on what the answers you give. But again, it depends on how sincere you are while answering those questions and what result you get out of it. So again, that's another thing. But apart from that, in the ending, we'll be discussing if there are any queries, any questions, any specific guidance you are looking for. So I'll try to answer to those guidance as well. So are we clear as of right now? What exactly are we going to discuss in this session, everyone? Yes, no, in the chat box, as I said, the mics are muted for everyone so that no discrepancies takes into the session, and the videos are also off so that you can feel comfortable from wherever you're watching from any part of the world. But at the same time, the purpose of the session should be extremely clear, which I believe is currently clear for everyone. So, are we all clear with this? Have you understood the format of the session? How we are planning to go ahead? Yes, no, yes. The chat box is a place, as I said. And I wish to keep this session as always. The past session, also those who have attended might quite be knowing about how I try to keep the sessions very interactive. Previously, I've tried covering multiple topics, be it personality development, be it time management, be it multiple guidance and insights for youth and professionals and freshers and many more things. So similarly, out of those sessions, this is also a session what I thought I need to organize. And this is something which I believe and I hope would be beneficial for everyone. So first and foremost, what is the criteria or what is the fundamentals right now, or what are the confusions? Let us talk about the confusions at the moment. And the reason to say talking about the confusion at the moment is because right now the youngsters are quite very handy with different social tools, right? Excuse me. They're quite very active with social tools, and they might be having different thoughts going on. There are multiple platforms at the moment, maybe YouTube, maybe they might be watching so much video. And currently the youth are very much interested into finding I would say the side hustle from a very young age, be it into even if they're in ninth standard or 10th standard, they just want to earn money. Because I've stayed with multiple entrepreneurs, and I've visited multiple schools and universities. So the youngsters are mostly into, just find a way to earn money. That's what most of their targets are. But I won't consider everyone into that bracket. Of course, there are those as well who really wants to work hard, working hard day and night and trying to achieve something for themselves in the respective field what they are working towards. So first of all, let's talk about the confusion, because we are living in the era of internet, and we have multiple domains that could be put forth in front of us. And when I say in front of us, it means the parents as well as the youngsters. In case of the parents, if they are highly educated or if they are educated and they understand what kind of fields are present in this moment in day and hour, maybe they can guide their children, and the children can get an idea about what exactly is going on in the environment, and what kind of fields are really progressing and where there are scopes. But again, let me be very clear that a field can be highly booming, a field can be highly active, and there might be tons of opportunities. But if you or your children is not, I would say, do not have those skills or is not compatible with that industry, then even if you see or you understand or you have analyzed or you have observed a particular trend in an industry and you think that your son or your daughter should go into this particular industry, then it could become highly challenging as well. So it's again depending on how passionate the kid himself or herself is, and what are their skill sets, and how much they are looking forward to invest in those skills which they really want to develop in the future. So the first thing first, coming into the practicality of things. See, in the hour before, like let's go 20 years before, 25 years before, career guidance was not so much into, I would say, into the society. People would usually go to those who have studied, who are going to universities, who have done their graduations, who have done their masters, and they would personally visit those, qualified people and try to gain some understanding about what's happening, what's the industry telling about, and mostly they would get convinced by what their neighbors are doing or what their friends are doing, or maybe what's happening in the society, and they would get I would say uh, what would be the right word? They would get influenced by what people are doing. So most of the time, the decisions were made depending on what people are saying in the society and what field they are pursuing. And if someone is an engineer, they would definitely recommend that engineering is a wonderful field. So there are two things to look at it, and I need to clear this because most of the youngsters right now are quite in a very confusing zone. And the reason is, in the past 20-25 years, the field has changed a lot. And when I say a lot, I mean new fields has emerged, such as AI, such as coding, such as algorithm. Of course, it's new for the Indians, but for those who are staying abroad, for them it might be an old field because things comes to India quite a bit later, after some time. But things in the abroad, in the other country, be it USA, be it Canada, be it European countries, things usually take a flight from there mostly. So speaking about that, when we speak about India and how the dynamics in India are, so because everyone here is right now from India, so the dynamics in India has been quite changing locally recently as well. So in the past, usually the industry that would be at high boom would be mechanical, would be become a doctor, maybe become an engineer, maybe become a lawyer, and there were only saturated fields what were present in front of their parents, and they would really push their kids to go into that particular field. And just quite some time back, not even I would say 15-20 years ago, if someone would have taken arts or someone would have taken commerce, they would be seen in the society as in a different framework. Have any of you I would say, because in my session, as I said, I would really love to take from your experiences as well. So have any of you felt, if you have taken any other field apart from science, so if have any of you felt that you were seen in a different light from those who took science? So for example, around 15-20 years ago, you took commerce or you took arts. So at that point of time, those fields were seen in different lights. Like for example, those who took science, they were seen like, okay, they're highly studious, they have a good life, they can have a, they can grow, they can progress, they are the sharp and bright mind of the society, while those who selected arts and commerce would be seen otherwise. So any of you have faced this? I mean, those who are already graduated quite some time back, maybe 10 years, 15 years ago, any of you have experienced this or have noticed this or have heard about this, that how the society used to see from a different perspective and different lens altogether? I mean, they had a different perception. For example, you took arts, so okay, you are an art student, so it means somewhere down the line you lack intellectual capacity, or maybe you're not that studious, or maybe you just took arts to waste your time or just to invest your time somewhere. That was a, I would say, stereotyping that used to happen quite some time back. But drastically in the past 15-20 years, things have completely changed. Now people are mostly interested into arts, into commerce, and now the fields are more dynamic than before as well. So we need to understand this reality as well in the Indian society. Especially the parents had a different mindset depending on what good future their kids can earn, depending on what can give them the best earning sources. But right now the industries are different, and of course at that point of time they may have a particular view, but right now we need to be very open, and we need to uh, delve deep inside what different domains are all about and what are the opportunities in the industry. So that's the first segment. We need to understand that in the past, yes, due to experiences, due to limited exposure of what kind of careers are available in the market, people used to go for the common things what used to happen. But right now we have tons of opportunities, and to be very honest, for those who are into career guidance, who are guiding youngsters, they themselves are in a state of what word should I use? I mean, there are so many industries and so many skill sets matches with different industries. So what would be the right decision for your kid or for yourself? that is something, right now the career guidance counselors are also looking for. So they have designed multiple tests about identifying what your qualities are. Are you into leadership? Are you into thinking? Are you into critical analysis? Are you into what exactly? So that's a different case altogether. But let's understand the past was quite different. And right now, in the present, what we are living, it's a quite different reality. So we need to live from the reality where we are right now. Of course, the field in the past exists today as well, be it the mechanical industry, be it any kind of engineering that has been existing. And of course, there are demands, no doubt, people who are still doing. I mean, there are tons of colleges in India itself from where people are graduating into mechanical field or into electronics or into civil engineering, into aeronautics, and into computers. So things are quite working at this point of time as well. But because of competition, because of the global environment of the world, things are a bit difficult as well. So we need to have a reality check once we proceed further with a career or the career we choose. So that's the first segment. We need to understand things has been different. We need to accept this reality. Because the reason to share all these things is because currently there are multiple, I would say, parents whom usually, while having a conversation, they already had a perception, or they already have a firm, believe in their mind that, okay, the industry which was quite booming 20 years ago or 25 years ago would be the same as it was before. But that's not the reality. And I mean, things has been changing. So firstly, we need to get that belief out of ourselves, and we need to be very quite open-minded. So that's the first part. And the second part, with regards to the confusion, what's going on in the environment. So can I know how many students are joining in? If you're a student, just write a yes. If you're in 10th or if you're in 12th, write a yes in the chat box. I can have an idea. Any students here? Are you in 10th? Are you in 12th? Are you in 9th? Are you in 11th? Any age, any standard around this. Or maybe you are in 7th or 8th. That's also fine. So any students here? Yes, no. If you are not a student, write a no in the chat box. If you are a student, write a yes in the chat box. Again, that's something that will help me out to identify who are joining in the meeting. Wonderful. So I see mostly, I guess, who is here are either parents or either those who are going to take decision for their children. So inshallah, I'll try to mold the other part of the session towards that direction as well. So for those who are students right now who will be watching this recording in the future, let's try to be very clear. As I mentioned, the confusions are very high, and you might be having a different skill set what your friend might not have, or your friend might be having a different skill set which you don't have. So do not blindly follow a field that is going to mess up with your career. So for example, because this is what the trend is usually, like a child is studying with their friend from LKG to the 10th standard, or maybe from 7th to 10th, or maybe 5th to 10th, and now they need to take a decision. And the decision is, should I go into science? Should I go into commerce? Should I go into arts? Should I take a diploma? Should I go into ITI courses? Should I do a certification courses? What exactly should I do? That's the first thing. For those who have no exposure about this field, would not have an idea that diploma is also available after 10th standard, or certification courses are also available after 10th standard. The ITI courses, which is industrial training courses, that are also available in the market. So for those who are quite blank and they would blindly follow their friends, may end up somewhere. And this is the biggest regret of those who have done their 12th standard following blindly their friends, or either they have entered into any graduation field along with their friends, and they have messed up in their lives. And this is the biggest regret. So that is one of the reasons we need to have an understanding, a very clear understanding of the options that are available after 10th standard. So firstly, one of the options is, out of the three fields, identify what is for you. Be it science, be it commerce, be it art. But there is a catch here. And I'm sure all of you might be knowing, or a few of you might be knowing. The catch is, if you have taken science for 11th and 12th, you have the option open for pursuing arts or commerce into your graduation. I mean, I hope this is clear. If you become a science student for 11th and 12th, you definitely have an option to become an art student or a commerce student after your 12th standard, if you plan to change your stream. And if you feel like biology is not for me, mathematics is not for me, physics is not for me, chemistry is not for me, so maybe you can take a turn from there. And that is something that's going to help you out. But if you take arts, and now you wish to jump into science stream. That's impossible. That's never going to happen, because the fields are completely different, and the studies are different, the subjects are different, and at the end of the day, you have no other option than repeating your 11th standard with a different stream altogether, if you wish to. People are doing that as well, but that is the point where you need to take a wise decision. And the third option is commerce. Again, if you're a commerce student, okay, I forgot to share this. If you are an arts student, you cannot go into science, but you can go into commerce. That's open for you. I mean, you can enter into that field. If you are a commerce student, if you have selected arts, but you cannot jump into science. So science is only an stream which gives you an option to jump into commerce or arts. But if you have taken arts or if you have taken commerce, you have no chance. Thing is clear for all of you. And for those, even those who would be watching these sessions, inshallah, later on. So this is something what you need to keep in mind. Then the next important thing that usually comes into mind after 10th and 12th standard, how many of you remember, if you already graduated, you have done your studies, you have completed your studies, how many of you have remembered that if you decided to take science subject, if you decided to take science or commerce or arts, how many of you had really gone to a library around your home or maybe in your city and tried finding the books what you will be learning in your 11th and 12th, and then identifying that yes, this is something what I would be interested in, and this is something what I won't be interested in. Have any of you done this? Anyone? Yes? No? Like before taking admission into 11th and 12th, for example, you are interested in science, you just feel like you are interested in science, but have you really done the homework? Have you really read any books before entering into the field? Or at least you have borrowed a book from your elder brother or maybe a cousin, maybe a friend who is in 11th or 12th, and you borrowed their books for a day or two, and you scroll through the index and try to identify, okay, these are the subjects I will be studying, these are the chapters I will be studying, and what exactly are there in the chapters. Any of you have done this? Yes, no, please, in the chat box again. Let me see if any of you have done this. My eyes are fixed on the chat box. You can write a yes or you can write a no. There could be one answer. Yes or no. I'm waiting. Let's see if anyone has done this. Okay, if not, then how many of you have never done this? So you can write an I in the chat box, because a silence is also an answer. So this is something, of course, many of us has never thought of this until and unless we had such kind of a guidance, or we had such kind of an output, or we had such kind of a friend circle, or maybe an intellectual gathering where these kind of topics were shared. For example, for me, while I was taking decision to select which field after 10th standard, I was quite confused, and the only option I had was to select science, because science gives me an opportunity to understand what exactly the subjects are all about. Will I be able to do it or not? And finally, I took a turn towards commerce. I mean, that was something what I have personally done. And after taking admission, after going through the books, I took the admission, I went through the books, and I found that this was not something for me. And even before that, I felt this was not something for me, but I wanted to give it a try. I took a risk. I did my 11th, 12th, and 12th in science, but then I jumped to commerce later on. Similarly, if you also wants to do something like that, it's completely fine. That's an open field altogether. But this is something what needs to be kept in mind. You need to be very, I would say, very studious, or at least you need to understand what you're reading, or you need to get a good grade so you can make it for the next classes. Or else, most of the time, I know people who select a different domain altogether, and then finally they have, for every half yearly exams, they have a minus marking, and then they had to repeat 11th and 12th again. So that is also something. So the first insight or the first suggestion I would definitely give to the 10th and 12th standard students, which is very rare, and I have found this rare, that they never open a real book. They may definitely scroll through, they may maybe visit some qualified people and ask them about which field should I select, and how is this field, how is the opportunity, how the scopes, what are the returns, That's a fine question. But at the end of the day, once you really watch the syllabus, what you are going to be taught, what subjects are going to be there, if whatever field you select, and what are the chapters in the book. Once you go through the details, once you go through the in-depth, idea of what's going to be taught, I'm not telling you to go through the whole book and then finally decide. But yes, at the end of the day, what you can definitely do is at least have a firm understanding or a basic understanding of what is being going to be taught in your domain, what you're going to select. And for me, one of the best thing was, because this has happened practically with me, because I've stayed in a hostel, Alhamdulillah, with people from multiple and diverse backgrounds. So I had the opportunity to look into different books. And for some, it really motivated me, and for some, it was beyond my understanding. So for some, which really made sense, were management books. And since then, I was motivated that after 12th standard, I should pursue management. And finally, Alhamdulillah, I got done with my graduation in management studies and then MBA in project management and all of that. But this is something, it's a tough decision. Apart from that, let's move a step ahead. These are the three fields what I spoke about. But if you really don't want to go into this field, then you can take a diploma. And diploma is also a good option for engineering or for other fields. But again, the value of diploma differs. I mean, that's how it is. The value of diploma may sometimes differs from the value of degree. So diploma might be of 3 years, degree might be of 4 years in terms of engineering. Engineering may end up sometimes for 5 years as well, depending on the domain and the specification or what kind of university you have joined. So for 5 years, it depends. The internships are included, the projects are included, and so many other things are included. But if it's for 4 years, and if you have done a diploma for 3 years, then if you jump into engineering, so because you have not done your 11th and 12th, you have just done your 10th standard, now you're jumping into diploma directly. So you have not done your 11th and 12th. So you get done with diploma of 3 years. Now you wish to go to engineering. So after 3 years, you go into the second year of engineering, and then you get done with the third and the fourth and the upcoming years. So that is how it usually happens. Now, apart from that, if you don't want to do diploma, then you can definitely jump into a field called ITI courses. There are multiple ITI courses happening across different states of India. And those are the courses which are practically on-hand courses. And it's usually for 2 months or maybe 6 months, or maybe depends on what kind of course you select. So like, maybe it would be depending on electrician courses, or maybe it would be depending on plumbing courses. It depends. I mean, whatever you are interested in, you need to have an idea. Firstly, look across your state, or you look across your city, how many ITI colleges are there, colleges who offers ITI, and what courses are they offering. And if you are interested, you can definitely join them, and you can get a degree. I won't say a degree because that's not a degree, but yes, you can get a certification out of doing those courses. And finally, apart from that, the last option that comes into the picture is the certification courses. So you can go for certification courses for 6 months, maybe 1 year, depending on what specifics are you looking for, be it digital marketing, or be it graphic designing, be it video editing. There are multiple courses out there, so you need to check that out. So these are the four options, as I said. After 10th or after 12th, you have these four options. You can select any one of them, and then finally you can have an understanding where you stand. So are we clear till now? Yes, no? Are you all able to understand what I'm trying to share? Yes, no, in the chat box once again. Alhamdulillah, very good. Fantastic. The reason to ask this again is to have a very clear communication for the parents as well as for the youngsters of what can be done. Now, because as I said, the third segment of the session would be mostly about what fields could be selected. Now, because this is such a vast topic, to be very honest, it's such a vast topic, because if right now I just keep explaining about engineering, it may take me 1 hour. That, how many specific domains are there for engineering, and what entire domain standings are in the market, and what evaluation each industry has in the market, and what are the opportunities, what are the scope, in which country you will get a better opportunity for this particular field. That's an entirely, I mean, for one specific specialty, for example, mechanical engineering, if I try to answer on that, it will take a long time. If I try to answer on civil or electronical, electrical, and multiple others, then it may take a long time. So similarly, there are various fields. Firstly, we need to understand there is engineering, which is around 4 to 5 years. There is law field, you can go into LLB. Then there is a management field, you can go into that. There is an aviation industry, you can go into that. You can do a simple BSc. In BSc has a very, bachelor's of science. Bachelor's of science in what exactly? So there are multiple specializations in that, be it into agriculture, be it into chemistry, be it into physics, be it into mathematics. Many more things comes into the picture. Then you can go either for B.Ed, which is Bachelor of Education. If you're interested in teaching, you can go into that particular field. So there are multiple, fields which are available in the market, and there are multiple courses which are available in the market. And every, I would say, college has different courses which they make available for the students. So sometimes a thing would be completely different. I mean, some universities might offer a particular course, but others might not, and you need to identify which industry you wish to take. So at this moment, I would really like to ask, do you want me to, maybe share some specific domains of the industries? I mean, what kind of courses are there, or what kind of specialties are there? Do you want me to read out for you? Yes, no, or you'll do the homework? I mean, because it's a vast part. As I mentioned, there is engineering, there is law, there is mass communication, there is BCom, which is Bachelor's of Commerce. There are so many things. I mean, it's a multiple list of I would say uh, domains or courses available. So do you want me to, yeah, BSc in agriculture? I mean, there are many things. I mean, there are so many things right now happening in the market across India, across the globe. So that is something, firstly, I would like to understand. Do you want me to read out the names of those industries? Yes, no, in the chat box. Maybe I can have an idea, or maybe, I can have an idea and I can read it out to you. So again, looking at the chat box. Do you want me to read it out? Yes, no. Okay, you can share in the group. Perfect. Great. That's a good suggestion. I was planning to do that. Apart from that, others, what do you have in mind? What do you have in mind? Anything? As I said, if I really keep talking about the domains and the field. So recently, while doing a more in-depth study, I came across the CBSE website. Central website, and they had a list published of a long list published. They have a very long list published of what to do after 10th and 12th, and really I would say it was quite a uh, I would say it's a very long list. Just to read it out for you, especially for those who would be watching this recording later on, just to give an idea about what field exists. So there is agriculture and allied sciences, there is architecture and planning, and then there is arts, humanities, and social science. That's also a phenomenal field at this moment. Social sciences, fantastic field. Then we have business management, what I shared about. Then there's commerce and finance. Of course, that's another field altogether. Then there's computer applications and sciences. Then there's defense forces, NDA. Then there is designs and fine art. Then there is economics. There is engineering and technology. There is hotel, hospitality, and tourism management. There is law. There is liberal studies. There is mass communication. There is medicine and surgery. There is paramedical and allied health sciences. There are performing arts. Then there is pure sciences. Then there is rehabilitation sciences. Then there is sports and physical education, and then there is fishery sciences, vocational studies, and it's a long list. As I said, I mean, for if I just go into agriculture and allied sciences, just giving you an understanding, just reading out the names for you so that you can you can really have an understanding. So there is BSc in agriculture, BSc in sericulture, BSc in horticulture, BSc in forestry, BSc in community and home science, BSc in food nutrition and science. Then there is BSc in climate change and environmental sciences, BTech food technology, BTech into dairy technology, BTech into biotechnology, BTech into horticulture. I mean, it's diverse field. And for every field, let me tell you, for every field there are different entrance tests. For after 10th standard, if you want to go into engineering, you know which test you need to give. I mean, for engineering mostly it's JEE. For medical, you need to appear for NEET. And we know NEET very well because what's going on right now in the environment. Now, if you want to go into architecture and planning, then there is BArch, which is Bachelor of Architecture. Then there is B Plan, which is Bachelor of Planning. Then there's BTech Plan, which is Bachelor of Technology in Planning. So it completely depends on which field do you wish to go to. And as I said, because usually the career guidance session, what I used to be a part of, or what I used to host, I used to get invitation to host the sessions. What usually happens there are experts of different industries who would be sitting into the panel. And today I was thinking of doing similar things that maybe, but I think this was not the time would be convenient because it takes a long time to individually guide people, and it requires lots of resources coming in. So the career guidance session, what I used to be a part of, there used to be industry experts who would be coming in, maybe some lawyers coming in, doctors coming in, business professionals coming in, and medical experts coming in, and they would be sharing practically with the youngsters who would be interested in those fields that this is what the field looks like, this is what the study looks like, this is what the challenges are, this is what the scopes are, this is how you can grow in the field, this is what the challenges are, and this is where you need to hold your horses, and you need to be very patient, and you need to pass through this test, and this is how you need to get things done. So it's a whole I would say whole team of experts would be there who would guide the youngsters with a specific field. Because as a career guidance counselor or as a career guidance mentor, we cannot guide you about all the fields. I mean, that's not humanly possible until we become an AI ourselves. That's not going to happen. We can have an idea, we can share with you, and that's how it happens. So let's continue back that, if you need to go into arts, humanities, and social sciences, then you can definitely go into BA in arts. It depends which field you need to go into. Then there is BA honors. Then there is BSW, which is Bachelor's of Social Work. Then there is BRS, which is Bachelor's of Rural Studies. Then there are other things. I mean, if you go into the subject, as I said, if I keep sharing about all the industries or all the courses, it would take a long time. If you talk about commerce and finance, you have BCom, and right now its name, for example, BCom. How else? 10 plus 2. So I have the whole, I was going through multiple, I would say, resources, so that after this session, I can share it with you. Because I can share and I can guide the basic fundamentals of how you can take a decision. What decision are you going to take? Maybe I can help you out with that, but the decision is going to be in your hand, depending on your own identification and analysis and observation of the skills you have in yourself. So that is something you need to keep in mind. So speaking about commerce and finance, there is BCom, then there is BBA, then there is BSc in finance, then there is BSc in finance and sciences in finance, and there are many other things as well. So specializations are, I mean, again, I wish I could share my screen with you and you can have an idea. So that would have been a great way to share with all of you. Do you want me to share my screen? You want to make it more interesting? Then maybe I can try. If everyone replies majority to the share something more in detail, but I see people have an understanding or basic understanding right now, so I'll share uh, the details with you in the group as well. So there is BSc into CS, you can go into BCA. I mean, it's a long, specialization. Each field has their own specialization. Someone was asking about NDA. So there is a degree, which of course you can do, which is BA in, after doing your bachelor's of arts, you can go into NDA, you can do your BSc, Bachelor's of Sciences, you can definitely go into NDA, you can do Bachelor's of Engineering, still you can go into into defense forces, but the age criteria is different. it depends on the age criteria. Also, along with the qualification you have. So 12th is the bare minimum. I mean, at least you need to have 12th standard done. And then there are multiple tests that happens. And if you become a part of it, you prepare for it, and then you appear for it, there might be some good opportunities arising. So again, there's a field called as design and fine arts. It's a whole different field altogether. Bachelors of interior designing, bachelor of visual arts, bachelor of fine arts, then uh, bachelors of vocations, then there is bachelor of fashion technology. There are many things. Now, if I, as I said, if I keep sharing about all these things in this session won't be enough at all. I mean, if I go into the in-depth of each field and share it with you, that would be quite very challenging for all of you, because not everyone is interested in the same field, and not everyone would be interested to listen about every field time. So this was something we need to have an understanding. The reason to read this out for all of you, and for the parents, for the youngsters, for the one who is in 10th and 12th standard, is firstly to have an open mind and have an open approach, and try to study the field what you need to go into. And next part of the segment of this entire session is mostly based upon your skills and your interest and your passion. Now, see, passion is not the word I would use. Of course, that's a trendy word right now, that follow your passion and whatever you feel like. But see, fields and career should and must not be selected, must not be selected on the basics of your feelings. That should never happen. I mean, it should not be based upon your feelings. Because once you have a good feeling that I want to do this, okay, well and good, go ahead. But once you look into the details, once you look into the course details, once you look into the specification of what you are going to learn, then sometimes your feeling may disappear in the next few days. So feelings are at one side, keep it there, use it, utilize it, but do not take decision on the basis of your feeling. That's one of the biggest regret that can happen. I mean, yes, if your feelings aligned with what your interests are, if it's aligned with your skills, if it aligns with what feel like, yeah, this is something what I need to go into, then go ahead, no problem in that. But only feeling should not be your decision making criteria. That I feel like this is a good field, that is where most of the errors happen. So the reason to read out all about these fields were that there are tons of opportunities in today's time. Research about which field you need to go into, why you need to go into those fields. And also, I would say, see, right now, as I said, the world is changing drastically, right? And the top trending industries currently at this moment seems like is the IT industry, because it has a lot of scopes. Every new day is something new comes into the market with relation to AI. But at the same time, we don't know what's going to happen in the next 5 years or 10 years. Maybe some new industry would take over. Agricultural industry is one of these hidden industry, which is, I would say, it may take a lot of work and hard work, but there is gold in it. It may not seems like it, but if you really take up agricultural industry and you get your hands in it, then that is an industry of gold. If you go into industry related to energy, and if you go into solar energy, or if you go into batteries, because the upcoming time is going to be of electronical cars and bikes, so they would need some good batteries. And batteries, right now there are tons of organizations who are doing researches on which battery can last longer, what should be used in those batteries, and tons of research are happening in those domains. So that is also something. So keep an eye on the industry at the moment. The technology industry is, of course, good, but yes, there are tons of competition as well. But just because of a competition, you do not enter into that field, I would say that would be quite not the right choice. Because as a believer, this is something what we always need to remember is, even if we are highly qualified in something, and if we don't get a job somewhere, if we don't get good opportunities somewhere, it means that whatever risk Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has written for you, definitely it will reach you. We need to keep trying. So if you have the best of the skills, sometime even you may not have a job, you may not have your opportunities to move front in your life. But if you have done a very small course, you have done a certification course, but that's a good course and that's the need of the hour, maybe you can have a good job and maybe you can have a good engagement and you can earn from that degree or course what you have done. So at the end of the day, the risk is in the hand of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, but the decision Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has left in our hands. And at the same time, our methodology would be something that look into the details, study the materials, study what is available in the market, study which fields are available, go and find the experts, sit with them, have a discussion with them, and finally you can have a at least a clarity. I'm not saying you can take a decision on the basis of that. You can have a clarity about what you are thinking to pursue and what exactly the field is all about. And maybe you can change your mind, or maybe you can pursue the field forward. It depends upon what guidance you get and from whom you take the guidance and how much you are interested in that guidance. That is something I would say. So this is something, the past era was completely different. The fields were different. All these specialties were there, but it was not on the high boom. But right now, the industries are different. And apart from 10th and 12th standard, there are multiple segments in which you can be a part of. You can also do an online degree right now. After the COVID, this has become a new norm. You can do an online degree in whatever field you are interested. And after doing an online degree, before it used to be distance education, which was not quite equivalent to offline. But online education right now is getting equivalent to offline, depending if you are a working professional. So if you are a fresher, for example, you have done your 12th and then you jump into online education, that's a good thing. It's a fine thing, no problem. Because of if you have some restraints and you cannot go to the university and you need to study from your house, that's well and good, a good degree and a beneficial degree. But if you want to go into the market, you need to have some practical experiences of being into a campus or being into an environment which can help you out to do something beneficial or learn from your environment. So that is something. So online courses are also available. They are authentic. Of course, we need to check if they're authenticated by the government. If they're not authenticated by the government, do they have the UGC stamping? Do they have the other stampings as well or not? It all depends on what you try to pursue and from whom you are learning. So that is another thing, that has came into the picture. Online learning is also there. So you can be a part of it and you can also do something there. Then you can do a distance course. As I said, you can do distance courses from Maulana Azad University, and there are multiple other universities. There's IGNOU. You can do it from there as well. Indira Gandhi Open University, you can do it from there as well. So it depends. Depending, that's the reason. If in this session I try to give you a one-liner, strategy or a one-liner guidance for everyone, then that would be an injustice. Because of course, every human being is different. Everyone's skills are different, and you need to identify yourself. Maybe I can help you out after this session. If you wish to get in touch with me, inshallah, I can maybe help you out with whatever I know, or at least I can connect you with some experts who can give you an idea about the field. That is something what I can assure, or I'll try to find out experts if you want to go into a specific field. Because Alhamdulillah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has blessed me with people, in my friend circles and in my network with whom I keep having discussions, and maybe they can guide you. If you wish to have a specific guidance, then maybe inshallah I can connect you with that. So apart from that, this is something that was supposed to be shared with all of you. And the final segment which I would like to cover is that there are two ways to identify what field your kid or you yourself are interested in. One of the ways is, of course, look at your result, of course, look at your interest in which subject you are, but results do not speak for itself. It might be that you are good at memorizing something. For example, you are good at memorizing history subject and you achieved a high mark in history subject. Now you cannot just assume that, okay, I have achieved a high mark in history subject, that's the reason I should take history for my further education. I mean, that's not the right approach, because most of the time people try to do this. If not the student themselves, then maybe their parents, or maybe their well-wishers, or maybe those who guides them. That, okay, I see, you are good in this subject from past so many years, then maybe you can pursue this subject. But on the other hand, the student might be just doing it, by hearting the subject and performing good in the examination, and right now they are not even interested in that course. So you need to have an understanding of yourself first, and that would be a bit difficult, but yes, you need to identify what you are inclined towards. Everyone somewhere deep down have an idea about what they're inclined towards. If not, then as I mentioned, there are free tests available on internet, and I was just going through the names. I'll try to share it in the group again. So there are multiple free tests, you can go through that. The reason I'm not taking names, because I don't want anyone to think that I'm promoting them and I'm getting some commissions out of it. I'm not that kind of a person, alhamdulillah. But yeah, there are multiple test platforms that are available. You can go to it, and it's a free platform. So you can definitely just write free career guidance test, and you can answer the questions what would be present there, and maybe you can get an idea about where do you stand or what field you could be interested in, what are your qualities. And at the same time, the other test I would recommend is do a personality type test. Try to identify what your personality is. Are you a reserved person? Are you a shy person? Are you a critical thinker? Are you a problem solver? Are you into advocacy? Are you into business? Are you into what exactly? So maybe a personality test may help, but I won't say that's the 100% finality of that's who you are. Of course, there will be error and there are errors depending on what answers you give. If it's really sincere, then you may get a positive, I would say, positive guidance or maybe some bit of clarity. But at the end of the day, again, having a good hold on yourself is something that is very much required. So list down the qualities you have in yourself, the subject you think you are interested in, then do some bits of research in those subjects, that what kind of course can I select, what kind of degree I can select. And then finally, the most important part, after doing all of these things, identify if there are any colleges of those subject in your area or in your city or in your state or not. That's the biggest part, because most of the times there may be subjects which you are interested in or your kids are interested in, but it's not available in your city, maybe not in your state. Then you might have to send them to a different state. Then that would be altogether a different decision to take. So you need to be very careful about this. Careful in the sense, in a positive way. Think about it, what could be done, and then inshallah a decision could be taken. So that is something. Identify. The kid needs to identify themselves, because they know themselves. Are they a creative thinker? Do they love to draw? Do they love to speak much? Do they have a mind which is continuously, like, I need to do business? What kind of business? I don't know, but I need to do business. Okay, then maybe they can explore some business fields. If they have a critical mind, maybe they can go into engineering. Of course, I mean, every field requires critical thinking, be it engineering, be it management, be it into commerce, be it XYZ field. All the fields requirements are different, but yes, definitely a thought could be given to this. So the reason to share all of these things is, do not approach your career with a narrow-mindedness, and at the same time be a bit flexible. One of the insights after doing lots of podcasts on my podcast and having conversation with multiple guests across the globe. And apart from that, those interviews or those meetings which I have done, which are not yet uploaded on my podcast or which were not recorded at all, but even those people are saying that, be flexible in your career. If you identify and you find out that your 10th, 11th and 12th standard, you have done a particular thing, but it does not fits you, or you are not finding an understanding of the subject, then it's better to quit and shift to another field, instead of wasting your 2 years or 3 years and then becoming more hopeless and more depressed that I have taken a wrong decision. So you need to be a bit flexible. Or even if after you have got done with your 12th standard and you need to get done with altogether a different thing in your in your graduation, have that flexibility in your mind, because we are living in the 21st century and the fields are different, the dynamics are different, and people may in the start not understand what they were looking for, but once they identify, they may need to shift towards different field. So keep an open mind. That is something what I would say. And another thing what you need to keep in mind is, in other countries, especially in the European countries, in the UK, I've heard once that since a very young age they don't have the school system what we have. They have a specific system in which from a very young age they identify in what subject is the kid interested, and then they guide the kid into that particular industry from a young age itself. So if a kid is around 9, 10, 11 years old, and if they have a understanding, or if they enjoy doing mathematics, or maybe experiments in the chemistry lab, or maybe some physical experiments in the physics subject they keep doing, then they would guide that kid into that particular field only since a very young age. And that's the reason they have high experts in that particular field from a very young age. So they don't have to go with all the subjects, learning all the subjects, understanding all the subjects, and then finally reaching to 10th standard. And now they have to select a field and then they have to go for the graduation. That does not happen. From a very from a very young age, they have a very clarity of thought. This is what I need to do. This is what I'm interested in, and they invest all their energy into that one particular field, and finally they achieve a good standing in their lives. That is something what happens in different countries, but right now we have not reached that state. I hope soon we reach it, so that all the energies could be channelized into one straight path. But I think we have more options to explore and more, more choices to take. So that is something altogether what we need to keep in mind. And finally, at the end of the day, the last thing what we need to have in mind is what are the scopes? What are the scopes in the industry, and what are the opportunities in the industry, and which industry is good? Again, as I said, the industry which is good right now in 2026, maybe till the moment you get done with your graduation, that industry may reach to another level, maybe in a progressive way, or maybe some other field may overtake them. And because everyone has their eyes on which field is productive, which field has a good scope, then everyone is rushing towards it. And once everyone is rushing towards it, they will get qualified with it. And once they go into the market, of course, the market gets more competitors. And then again, it comes to a point where there are no jobs in the market again. So this is the story of every field. This is the story of every field. But yes, whatever you are interested in, maybe you can be that game changer of that industry. You can bring some new idea altogether in that industry, that maybe a new path can be created because of you. So have a good understanding of what you're pursuing. And finally, the most important thing is have a clear intention, right? Have clear intention of why you want to pursue this ethic. Is it just because money? Is moral ground good? Not moral grounding, good grounding in the society. Is it just for that, or maybe you have a bigger vision? You want to serve the community. You want to do something beneficial for humanity. You want to do something, productive for the people around your area, or around your city, or around your state, for your community. It depends. So this is something. Have a bigger vision, and the bigger vision for a believer should be none other than Marifa, that whatever subject you learn, you get closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's why if you are into, let's say, physics, then you can have a very deep impact on your heart, that how exactly you know these equations are coming in, how the energy, different time, etc., etc. So whatever field you select, you should have an intention that you should reach closer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and get to know more about him. And you should be awe that, oh subhanallah, I never thought this could be coming out of it. So if you're in the medical field, there are tons of things nowadays that when we get to hear about it, we go into the state of, oh subhanallah, I mean, we were not aware about this. Similarly, in whatever field you go, just make sure that your foremost target is none other than to gain pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Then the second thing is, of course, earning halal risk is also an ibadah. So do it for that purpose as well, so that you can have a good job, and you can have a good risk coming out of it, good money coming out of it. So you can take care of your family, your wife, your kids, maybe your parents, maybe your siblings, depends on whatever responsibility you have at this moment. So that is also something we need to keep in mind. And finally, as I said, it's a vast field altogether. There are so many things a human being can incline towards. Today, you might feel like I fit in this category. Tomorrow, you may feel like, okay, this is also something I'm interested in. The third thing, you may feel like, okay, that is also something I'm interested in. So, again, as I said, there could be confusions. But yes, the more you get into the details before you take admission into anything, that could be the hidden secret. Go and read the books before you take admission into that particular course. And right now, I believe all the books are already available online. So at least you can have, you can download the PDFs, you can go through the chapters, you can scroll through the chapters, and if you find it beneficial, then you can take admission into that specific field. Or else, if you go through the chapters, you go through the pages, and you feel like, no, this is not my cup of tea, then maybe you can have different thoughts. But do it ASAP, as soon as possible. Do not delay it. Whatever field you are interested in, go and read about it. The chapters, the subject, everything is available on the internet. So, a specific detail won't be required from me to be shared with you. But yes, you can identify it for your field, and inshallah, you can take a wise decision accordingly. So, the last 5 to 10 minutes, if any of you have any doubt or wants to ask something specific, want to, uh, you need some idea about something, this is your time. Do you have any question? Write a yes in the chat box. Maybe I can unmute you and you can ask your question. And if I would be able to answer that, inshallah, I'll do. Or else, after the session, I may connect you with someone from your specific domain who can help you out, inshallah. See, vocational programs, of course, as I said, ITI is a vocational program. ITI is Industrial, Training Institute. So they have multiple ITI courses. Just type ITI onto, I would say, on Google itself, and you will get a list of multiple vocational courses that would come in front of you. And vocational, again, the word vocational has multiple things coming out of you. Let's do one thing. I'll help you identify. I'll share it with you. ITI courses, right? Just give me a second. So as I said in the starting of the session as well, there are two types of ITI courses that could be done. One is into engineering, which is of course into fittery, which is welding. You can get into welding. You can get into the electrician course. That is something that ITI can teach you. And the second is non-engineering uh, trades, which can also involves into medical stream, right? For example, health sanitary inspector, which is medical and public health service roles. You can go into maybe computer operator and programming assistant. Again, depend data entry and office automation and all of those jobs. So there are many jobs ITI can provide depending on which specific industry are you looking forward. As I said, there is an agricultural engineering as well. There's multiple other courses that comes into the picture. So are you talking about specifically bachelor's in vocational? So again, bachelor's in vocational what? I mean, just identify the subjects, right? Like you want to do bachelor's in vocational studies, right? Bachelor's in vocational. So again, it depends. What do you want to learn in it? What do you want to learn in it? Because as far as I can see right now, as I'm talking to you and as you have questioned, as I said, the fields are diverse and you need to be very specific. So if you go into vocational industries, there is hospitality and tourism, there is software development and IT, there is food processing and agriculture, there is healthcare and medical lab technology, there is banking, finance and retail. There are multiple things that comes into vocational. I mean, again, it depends on what exactly are you looking for. Now, if you want to go into BBA, BBA would be what I have done is BMS, which is also called BBA in some other part of the country, which is usually deals with leadership. It deals with leadership. It deals with uh, management. It deals with marketing. But again, this field has three different branches coming in. One is in the second year. Most of the time, it's in the second year, but sometimes it's in the third year. You have three different domains, which is HR, which is human resource, then you have finance, then you have marketing. Out of these three, you need to select which one you want to go into. So HR has a different role altogether to play. The marketing team has a different role to play, and the finance team altogether has a different role to play. So it depends what skills are you interested in, or what skills or what subjects are you inclined towards. If it's towards finance, you can take a specialization in finance. If you're interested into marketing, you can go into that. If you're interested into making laws and policies and regulations of an organization, you can go into HR. So that is something that can help you out. So that's the reason I said in the entire session, identify your skills or your qualities. This is what I'm good at. This is what I love to do. Do not be shy. And do not think like, I'm just overthinking. Just write whatever you are getting in your mind. Then you can do the screening. Do not screen and write. Just write. And then if you want to do screening, you can maybe not even do screening. You can write all the skills you have in you, or all the things, all the qualities you have in you with regards to career, with regards to a subject. And then maybe you can do a rating. Let's not eliminate anything. If you find 10 things in you, I'm good in negotiating, negotiation, I am good in presentation, I am good in communication, I am good in business ideas, I am good in execution, or maybe I am good in presentation delivery, or maybe I good in practical doing practical things, or maybe I am good in let's say what do you call it, designing. Maybe I'm good in designing. Just write everything, and then maybe you can give them marking that okay, with regards to designing, out of 10 I feel like I am interested at the point of 8. In leadership I am interested out of 10, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6, 10, depend. So maybe you can give a ranking, and then you can identify an industry, or maybe you can identify a course that can suit you best. So you can just write what field should I select if I have these qualities. If I am interested in leadership and critical thinking and designing, then maybe it can give you an option. Right now we are in the era where in one click you get lots of courses in front of you. So that is something what you can do. Or maybe if there is any counselors in your city from whom you need to take a detailed understanding of a course, maybe you can get in touch with them. So for example, you identified a field for yourself. This is the course I'm planning to take. Now get in touch with the counselor of the particular, I would say, college, and ask them that I want to get into this course. Can you please elaborate what will happen in this course? And sometimes some universities conduct a induction for courses. Sometimes it happens after you take admission into the university, or sometimes they do it before you take admission into the university. So maybe they can have some courses as such, and this is something that can come into the picture. Now sports and physical activities, as I said, it's a complete different domain. In that you can have the courses would be completely different. I can share personally. If you need details, I'll try to share it with you. But right now, as I am not into that industry, I may not be able to guide you properly. But yes, while reading out the industry to you, the sports and training industry, I have told you about that. So if you need a specific detail, just feel free to ping out to me after the session, and inshallah I'll help you out. Sounds good? Great. Okay, so you need website of the course. Okay, some needs the PDF. That's all sound good. Any other questions you have at the moment? Anyone? Any other questions? Anything? Because as I said, I've tried the session to be multifold for the kids as well, for those who are in their 10th and 12th, for the young students, but at the same time for the parents, so they have an understanding that there are tons of things going on in the market. So do not just take one suggestion from someone who knows you well, or you know them well, and they're highly successful in your family, or they are highly successful in the society, and they are maybe some your brother's son, or maybe your sister's daughter, or maybe someone out there. Every child is different, but yes, facilitate for them, help them to identify. Because as parents, this is one of the huge responsibility, that as parents you may have a better observation. I'm not saying understanding, but a better observation of your child, that yeah, I think he's good at speaking, I think he is good at solving problems, I think he is good at mathematics, I think, because you are staying with the child 24/7, right? So you can help the child to facilitate that. As far as I have seen you since childhood, this is something what I felt like you are interested in. So maybe you can look into this fields as well, or maybe you can look into fields which suits this skills what I have identified in you. Inshallah, that could a way could be found forward in that way as well. So parents are the backbone to what the kids are going to select. And as I said, every industry has its own challenges, has its own success. So it should not be like, okay, I told you not to select this industry. Now see, there are no scopes in it. All the industries are facing some or the other challenges. Depends on where you're staying, depends on what city are you in, depends on what state are you in, depends on what in which country are you staying. Sometime it may happen that if you're doing a course, it may not be valuable here at all, or the amount you may be getting here would be very cheap. But the moment you step out to another country, that same skills would earn you maybe thousands, or maybe more than that, or lakhs, whatever. So that is something what we need to keep in mind, that have an in-depth understanding of where you are staying, what are the requirements, and where you plan to stay in the future. Do you want to stay here? So you can work upon the industries which are booming right now in India. If you plan to go out, do a research on what's going on in UAE, what's going on in Oman, what's going on in other countries, because they are mostly on ONGC, which is oil and gas company, right? ONGC. So oil is their key. But right now they're also moving towards tourism, they're moving towards events, they're moving towards multiple other things. So we need to have an idea about where are we looking ourselves in the future. I mean, of course, we cannot be firm and say this is what I'm looking for. We can make a plan and we should pursue it, no doubt in that. But at the end of the day, where are you looking to settle in the future? And maybe you can do some research in that particular country, and you can do courses which is a need of the hour in that country, and maybe a need of the hour in the next 2, 5, 10 years. And maybe you can settle there, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will bless you risk from that country. So again, as I said, you may do something and it may not turn something fruitful, but again it depends. Maybe you migrate, there is blessings in migration. Maybe you migrate from your city to another city, your state to another state. Maybe you can get a good job or a good standing and a profile there. All it depends on with which intention you have done it and how much you have mastered that course. That is the key. You can't just be an average kid and then say I'm not getting a job. You need to do something good. You need to have a good experience in it. You need to gain expertise in what subject you are in, and then finally jump into the market, and inshallah there will be a demand created for you by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you can achieve from there. So that is something I would say. And I'm very happy that subhanallah, many of you have joined in today, and by Allah's fadl and grace we are towards the completion of the session. I hope you found this session beneficial. For those who couldn't attend it, inshallah I hope this the video recording would be beneficial for all of you. And inshallah, if you have any doubts, if you have any queries, if you have any specific query in a specific field, you can get in touch with me. If you are a part of the group already, you know my number. You can get in touch with me. Inshallah, I'll try to identify some resources for you and I'll guide you accordingly. And for others, I'll try to share the links of the PDFs with you, where the websites of the courses or maybe some guidance with you. So inshallah, you can visit those websites, you can download those PDFs, and you can have a clear understanding of what are the diverse fields existing right now in the world. So with this, we come to an end. Jazakallahu khairan kathira for joining in. And as I said, this is a vast topic, a vast field with dynamic industries with so many insights. But yes, as I said, the EV industry, the electric vehicle industry, or the battery industry, or the solar industry, or the agricultural industry, or the medical industry, or the software and the IT industry is booming at the moment. So you can keep an eye on that. But again, the future is very, I would say uncertain. Things may turn upside down, or it may progress. It may be completely different. So just do what you feel like doing with a critical mind. Again, because it's not just what I feel like doing, it's thinking as well. And if your feelings aligned with the course, with the subject, subhanallah, very good. So that's the last wording I would say. Do not regret after selecting what you have selected. And if you have selected something, what you shouldn't, then definitely you have made a mistake in not doing enough research. And that's why one of my purpose in the entire session was to bring your attention towards researching. And there are multiple methods of researching. One of them, what I have shared with you, is none other than scrolling through the textbooks of the field you wish to enter into. When you need to do this, before entering the field, not after entering the field. Again, I repeat, not after you take admission into a university or into a course and now you're opening up the books and you're like, oh subhanallah, I never thought I have to go through all of this, I'm not interested. That would be a wrong method and a wrong way. You don't need to go in that way. But yes, definitely before entering into the field, before entering into that course, read about the course, read about the syllabus, read about the chapters, and do not be afraid. Right now, if you're in your 10th or if you're in your 12th, you have a basic understanding in your mind. Alhamdulillah, you're not a layman at this moment. You are literate. You can understand what the course is speaking about. You can relate to some of the terms. You know, don't need to become an expert to read what's going on in the syllabus, but few terms and few pages will help you out to understand, yes, this seems like this is what I need to pursue, and then jump into it. Say Bismillah, do istikhara, do sadaqah, and do Bismillah, and then take a step forward and get and enter into the field, and Allah will open a path for you. So that is something someone is asking, how can I contact you? If you're a part of the WhatsApp group already, then great. If you are not, are you a part of the WhatsApp group? I see someone has texted. Okay, so you can connect with me on LinkedIn, Abdul Ghani Punjabi. You can connect with me on LinkedIn if you are, or maybe on Instagram, or just ping me up on LinkedIn or Instagram or whichever is convenient for you. I'll share my contact with you, and then I'll share the group link with you. You can be a part of it, because that group is not only for career guidance. As for those who are part of that group from a long time, they already know that that group was created for training purposes on multiple topics, be it confidence building, be it public speaking, be it time management, be it entrepreneurial development, be it communication skills, and many more things. So that is something. And Alhamdulillah, time after time, I keep conducting such sessions so people can find benefit in it. So you can be a part of that group, and something new would be coming every then and now. So, Jazakallah khair kathira, everyone, for joining in. I hope the session was beneficial. For those who are here to the end, uh, how was the session? Did you understood what I shared? Did you got an idea about what you need to keep in mind before selecting a domain for yourself or for your kid? Or at least you learned something new out of the session. So, how was the overall session? Was it good? Was it fine? Was it fantastic? Or was it something fresh for you? Write in the chat box. Subhanallah, I'm seeing awesome coming up from one of the attendees. Mashallah, very good. Others, I'm waiting for your replies. Let's see what do we have in the end. And yes, again, I would say, if you need more specific details, you can get in touch with me. I can connect you with someone who can help you out with a more detailed understanding with respect to their domain and industry. Okay, so with this, Alhamdulillah, very good to see people got benefit out of this session, and may Allah reward you abundantly. Jazakallah khairah for the well wishes and for good wishes. So with this, we come to an end. Inshallah, I'll meet you in the next session. Okay, please share group link. Okay, I think just give me a second. That's a good idea. I mean, Subhanallah, that's wonderful. Thanks for reminding me. So I'll do one thing. I am sharing the group link with all of you, and you can join the group right now. Just give me a second, okay? Okay. Right, I'll do that. I'll share all the details with regards to the career options available. I'll do that shortly, inshallah. Just give me some time. Let's see, I'm sharing that. See, I've shared. See, I've shared the WhatsApp link in the chat box. Are you able to access it? Yes, no? Are you able to access it? If yes, that would be great. If yes, write a yes in the chat box. I can identify it. Huh? Perfect. So yes, you can join via that group. So you don't need to go to my LinkedIn and then Instagram and then find my contact. Here is the link, and Jazakallah khairah for reminding. And I think this is a more easier way to connect. So for those who wish to join, they can join in, and inshallah we'll meet in the next session then. Jazakallah khairah for joining. Inshallah we'll meet again soon. And Allah Hafiz.